My name is Mike Cuevas, aka the Real Estate Marketing Dude, and I've been in the real estate business since 2002. Today what we do is actually take the exact same model that I did as an agent and use it to help market other real estate agents' business throughout the United States. And what we do is we focus on consistent content creation focused around their brand. That just makes them more referable. And we do it in a way that you don't necessarily have to always be talking about real estate either. So here's what I understood that branding was really important. I was probably about 22 years old at this time. Me and my best friend at the time, his name is John Barrett, we're sitting in a bar and we're having burgers and a beer. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're just hanging out, talking, and what ended up happening is John proceeds to tell me that he referred another real estate agent a $400,000 listing. Now, when you're 22 years old, $400,000 listing equates to $10,000 of commission. I've never seen $10,000. I don't even know what $10,000 looks like. The fact that my best friend didn't even know I was in real estate literally broke my heart. I did not leave my house for the next 6 months, and all I did was just study. How the hell am I going to get my name out there, and how am I going to let all my friends' family learn to use me for their real estate needs if they don't even remember what it is I do? So back then, what we used to use and how I used to market my database, believe it or not, we still use it today, is direct mail. And I didn't care what I put on my direct mail, but I knew that if I did it consistently and I kept sending it to the same people over time, that they would start noticing that I was in real estate. And the goal was to generate referrals and then pick up new clients, right? So I took the exact same concept and just applied it to video. So while I would continue to send my direct mail marketing to my database, I would also send them a video email saying the exact same point. And it worked. That's actually how I built Real Estate Marketing Dude, the exact same process. See, it wasn't that video gave me success, it was the consistently using video is what gave me success. Let me put this for you in a different context. If you stop communicating with your wife or your significant other for 1 month, what happens? Exactly, you're gonna get a divorce. Well, if you stop communicating with your database, they're gonna cheat on you with another real estate agent. So it's not their job to remember what you do for a living, it's your job to constantly remind them. So next time you log on to Facebook and find out a family member, friend, past classmate bought or sold without you, don't get mad at them. Get mad at yourself, but do something about it and start generating consistent communication to them, and you might actually start generating those referrals and, more importantly, their direct business next time. So what I ended up realizing, sort of, I guess if on accident, if you will, is that the more you do video, the more opportunities that come to you that you would have never known were coming to you ever before, because you're putting yourself in that situation. You're putting yourself in that room. And these are things that don't even have anything to do with real estate. It's a spider web of new introductions and new conversations that just because you got on video, you're having. If you didn't get on video, those opportunities never exist. The reason why video is the best form of communication we have today is because it's the only thing that you can get face-to-face with somebody on. And a lot of people get scared about what they're gonna say on the video, but the truth is that whoever watches that video isn't gonna remember what you say anyways. What they're gonna remember is how you say it. So this is how communication is perceived across all fronts. And once you understand how humans perceive and receive communication and how that affects them, it allows you to be more authentic on video. So here's how it works. People will only retain 10% of what comes out of your mouth, which tells me what? People don't remember what you do, they remember how you do it. So the video where somebody is screaming on a rooftop is gonna generate a lot more eyeballs than the video where an agent's sitting in front of a whiteboard doing a market report, in other words. 90% of communication is based on tonality, 10% is just based off of what you say. You cannot do that in any other form of marketing. And the second part about it is that your body language also matters. If I'm shooting video like this, and if I'm shooting video and I'm already stuck, I'm already at a losing battle because no one talks like this. But if I come out like this and I'm using my body language, naturally my facial expressions will open up and it becomes more authentic. So I don't care what people do videos about, I care on how they do them, because that's ultimately what people are going to remember. Video is what builds and humanizes the brand to attract and convert more customers. So it's not lead generation, it's branding and conversion, 100% in my opinion. So one of the biggest questions people get with video marketing is, how do you quantify it? What is the ROI? So for example, in my world, I am consistently creating one video a week, one podcast a week, and that consistent schedule is what I go off and send off to my database, my email list, my social media profiles. But I don't know which video or which piece of content somebody consumed that caused them to pick up the phone or type into the computer that you need to go ahead and schedule a demo with a dude right now. So what you'll see with video is that you'll never be able to trace it back, and you'll just know that it's working because of things like when you go into the grocery store and your friends are like, hey, I saw that video, and you'd be like, you were actually watching that? That's pretty good. Or when you get that first comment on YouTube and you're like, wow, someone actually commented on my stuff. The way our brains are wired are to seek the attention and acknowledgement of others. And that's generally what keeps somebody going on video. So the short answer to it is video is very hard to attach an ROI, but I will give you a formula that you can use to sort of determine that for yourself. And here it is. Step 1, determine how many videos you're gonna do on a monthly basis. If you're gonna do one video on a monthly basis, do the math. Let's say it's $300. Now, if you're gonna do that for 12 months in a row, that means we're gonna do 12 months times $300. So then I'm spending an annual cost of $3,600. If I were to do 2 videos a month, let's just say that annual cost is $7,000. So the question you gotta ask yourself to whether or not you're getting a positive ROI on your video marketing is this. It's not shooting the video, it's distributing it. And that's where everybody gets caught up. You don't want to just create videos to let them die in a newsfeed. You want to absolutely stretch your dollar. So once you can determine your annual costs and you can determine exactly how you're going to get your content seen, it just becomes a mathematical formula. So then I'm going to look at what's the size of the people that are on my email list, my Facebook list, my Instagram followers. So the question now becomes this, and I'll flip this back to you. If you were to do 2 videos a month and you were to take all of those videos and email it to all of your friends or family, each time you did a video. So they get 2 video emails from you a month. You take that same video and then you go and post it on your social media profiles. It's your Instagram, you post it on your business page, LinkedIn, wherever you engage. And then you run ads to your database, custom audience, just saying, hey, don't forget I exist. Do you think you can generate more than $7,000 of commission over the next 12 months? That's really the question that you should be asking yourself. So if the average sale price in your market is $300,000, that equates to $7,500. So in that example I just gave you, I would need to create 1 client from 24 videos over the course of 12 months. If that doesn't work for you, you're in the wrong business. 10 to 15% of the people that will see your videos this year, they're moving, and most of them don't even know it yet. Things are gonna happen like divorce, babies, loss of job, relocation. The other side of it is that 100% of the people who see your video content will have a referral for you. 72% of people close with the first agent they meet with, and over 80% of business comes in the form of referrals, repeat clients, and people they've met personally or at an open house or in front of a sign. Those are the stats, so everything I'm sharing with you isn't theory, it's statistical. So you could literally come up with how many deals are in your database once you have a database. You need to have a database to make that determination. The formula for video marketing is use it to nurture the relationships you have in life first, and then multi-purpose it for lead generation second, but do it in that order, otherwise you're already going to be set up for a losing battle. I also focus on creating video content in 2 different forms. One of my strategies is education, one of my strategies is entertainment. And based upon the goal of whatever your videos you're going to do, you should reverse engineer your strategy based upon that. The way that I would say to use video is first and foremost, stay on top of mind with your most important asset. But if you do not plan on multi-purposing your video content, I think again, you're gonna set yourself up for disaster, because the truth is that there isn't a single video that I can ever point to and be like, that video caused this to happen, that video caused this to happen. Yeah, there'll be a couple like that. But each and every time you try to analyze how much video does to grow your brand, it's consistency of video over time that never fails, regardless of the business that you're in. The most successful way that I've ever used video was to demonstrate my expertise. It's virtually what I do in every single video. Video is a form of demonstration so that you don't necessarily have to tell someone what you do. I'd rather you show it. So when you start taking the concept of demonstration, that's what video was meant for. So for example, case studies, success stories. Oftentimes in the real estate business, people start saying, just listed, just sold. What you're really saying is, I made more money than you did today. And that resonates with nobody. But if you were starting to use video as a way to tell the story of the person you just served, you'll get a lot further. Stories are the most important to creating videos because that's the only way people can consume them. So for example, this 49-year-old homeowner just bought a 3-bedroom house, and little cousin or little Angie and Billy don't have to share a room anymore. Guess what? And he got $500 at closing to do so. Here's how. That's a story that I could use on video to really humanize my brand. If you can show someone your value versus tell them every single time, the video is going to do its job. When video doesn't work is when you start yelling at people, telling people this is how it is without a story they can relate to. When I'm creating a video and I want it to be successful, I follow a really simple format that all of us have the skill to do, but most of us just haven't been taught it since we were in 2nd grade. Every single video is nothing more than a story. And how you script a video, knowing how to script a video is everything. And every video has the exact same elements to it. If I were to write a letter today, the first thing I would do at type of the letter, I would say, Dear Mike, because I'd have to get their attention. Well, that's called an attention getter in a video. So the dear, in terms of a letter, serves as the attention getter. The attention getter in a video needs to sell the point of why someone needs to watch that video. Regardless of what the attention getter is, the next thing in the video is the introduction. Hey, I'm Mike Cuevas. How you doing today? Thanks for watching my show. Welcome to another episode of this. Today we're going to talk about this. Now, if I was writing a letter, I would have an introduction in the very first paragraph that would tell you exactly sort of what the letter's about, right? Now, below the introduction is what we call the body of a letter or the body of a video, which typically has 3 to 4 different points you're making. And then you have the outro. So if you look at video scripting, everyone tries to put too much into it, but the truth is that if you just sat back and just scripted out bullet points the same way you would write a letter, or that your 2nd grader is told to write an essay today, you could script any video you want, and every single time you'll do it in the form of a story. The best thing I like about video is that it allows us to create a lot of other forms of content, and this is what I mean by multi-purposing video content. You could have the best content in the world or the funniest video in the world, but if you don't put it in front of the right audience, the video is pointless and it's useless. So the distributing the video is equally as important as creating the video in itself. A couple different ways you can go ahead and multi-purpose your videos is, let's start with YouTube. That's the obvious one. Anyone who's shooting videos has to have a YouTube channel. You have to go ahead and optimize it on your YouTube channel so that it gets found. There is a thing called YouTube optimization, which is like SEO for YouTube, but that's just one place that I'm gonna go ahead and drop that video off. The second thing I could do is I could take a video, say a video like this, an interview. I could take this video we're shooting right here and cut it up into 60-second clips and just take sort of the highlights of it and then drip those clips on my Instagram page probably over the next month. And I would have a month of video content right there. Behind the scenes of shooting the video, I could go on to Facebook Live and be like, here's what the background looks like. I'm shooting a video, blah, 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 and sort of walk people through the backgrounds of it. The video should always be placed up on your website as well for further education about whatever it is that you do. But you could see just from using, that's just 4 literally very fast examples. The video becomes a marketing piece you use over and over again. And what most people don't realize is that it's always working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The more video you have, the more your face is out there. And when people are looking at it, they're not looking to see if you're good at your job. They're looking to see if they like you or not, and if they could picture themselves riding in a car with you for the next 3 months. In real estate, people do business, or any business, people do business with people they know, like, trust, first and foremost. And people will hire you based upon that, whether they like you at the end of the day. So the more content you have and the more authentic it is, the more it allows people to envision whether or not they can picture themselves to working with you. So I look at video mainly as a conversion tool, not as much as a lead generation tool. Attention and conversion, attention and conversion. And that's what happens. If you go to your website, the number or the top visited page on a website, on an investor agent's page, is their about page. You ask yourself, why is that? Well, they go to your website to see if they trust you, see if they like you. So the more content you have on it, the better the chances that you'll actually convert with it. My advice to have a video on every page, at least on the core component pages of your site. But it's your interview. Think of video as your resume. It's a first glance that people can see if they like you or not. And anyone who says that, oh, I don't judge a book by its cover, is lying. Because the truth is that people tend to hire people that are just like them. And it's an old term, an old saying that we've known for years. Birds of a feather flock together. So video allows you to find your flock, if you will. So one of the biggest things that tend to get people to procrastinate or stall getting on videos because they believe that they have to be doing it at a certain level. And it's not true. Everybody starts somewhere. And the video that captures you with your kids in the most unprofessional light is probably a lot more effective than the one with you wearing a suit and tie, to be honest with you. So when you're starting video, it's new. It's not hard, it's new. And this is the thing that most people confuse with it. And just like when I rode a bike for the first time, I fell. I crashed into a fire hydrant. But after I got done crying, I picked up the bike and I started riding it again. Eventually the training wheels came off. And then when I was in 8th grade, I was doing wheelies and jumps and all of that. So video is just a habit. And the sooner you start, the more comfortable you get. But as in anything you do for the first time, it should feel awkward. You're human, and that's just part of growing. But if you really look at generating a lot of attention around your brand or doing things different, the only way you grow in any business is being uncomfortable, isn't it? If I wasn't uncomfortable every day of my life, my business stops growing. So when people ask me like, hey, what level of video I have to be at, the level of video is just committed. And as you create more content, you will get better over time. And a year from now, you'll look back at the first video you ever did and you'll laugh at it. But you'll look back at your process and see how much you've grown at the same time. So the type of content you could create when you're using video is a lot. The truth is there's no shortage of video content to create. So the very first video that I think is one that you should create is community videos. Anything that focuses about your community. We don't sell houses, we sell communities, we sell locations, we sell lifestyles. So positioning wise, any agent, lender, anyone in any type of real estate business that creates a lot of content around their community, such as neighborhood tours, different points of interest, interesting stuff, things to do, the pros and cons, the good, bad, the ugly, any of that type of content is stuff that would accomplish the trick. Business owner interviews are really popular. You're creating television commercials for future referral sources that will share your video 1,000,000 times. It allows you to meet new people. A buyer series, a seller series. Would you hire yourself if you visited your website? See, the content on your website is what gets the leads to convert. The one who has no content on their website, why am I going to convert? The one who has content on their website, I'll give you 3 different examples. A, B, and C. Let's pretend these are dentists. Dentist A has a website that's just like an online business card. It looks like 80% of the real estate agent websites out there. There's not much you could do it. There's a little bit search bar. There's no pictures, no really about video. Dentist number B has a website. He's got his staff on there. He's got some educational articles, and you feel a little bit warmer. I feel more comfortable with dentist B. But once I go to dentist C, he's got a blog, he's got a video series. This guy's laughing on video. I always see him on social media, like going behind the scenes. I'm sorry, I don't want to see any dentist, but if I'm going to see one, it's going to be number C. So you have to look at your brand and your website the exact same way. My advice to anyone who is looking to get started on video and you're on the sidelines, and if you're like most people, trust me, I get it. I have a face made for radio. Nobody's going to want to see me. My stuff is boring. Those are just known as excuses. Unfortunately, for people who don't want to get on video, it's just here, and if you're not going to do it, somebody else in your market is. So it's no longer an option of whether, if you should get on video. The question is more of when you're getting on video. The fastest way to overcome anything that scares anyone is just to do it and to keep practicing at it. I would love to get back into shape, but if I wanted to, I'd have to work on my six-pack, I have to work out, and I have to do some exercises. Well, if you want to get through on video, you got to massage your video skills the same way you would your muscles, and one day your brand will grow and so will your muscles in the exact same way. And anyone can do video marketing. It's not something that's meant for only this type of person could do video marketing. The key to doing it is the way that is right for you, and the answer for that is going to be different for every individual. Not every person wants to go out and talk about content like real estate content or closing costs on their videos. Therefore, you probably shouldn't do it. Not everybody wants to go out and do a bunch of business owner interviews. Therefore, you probably shouldn't do it. You have to figure out what type of content you want to create, determine sort of which way you're going to create it, and identify a strategy that is really going to put it in your more authentic voice. So I like to give examples. I'll give you another one. Examples, let's take a military guy we have here in San Diego. He created a video series called San Diego Salute. Because his audience is focused on 95% veterans, all of his video content is focused towards veterans. San Diego Salute will do business owner interviews on veteran-owned businesses or businesses that support veteran causes. San Diego Salute's Neighborhood series is talking about the vicinity of base near Navy, Air Force, and the Marines here in San Diego. And if he's going to do a buyer series, well, he's doing it in the form of a buyer boot camp, or he's doing a seller boot camp. So your video strategy has to resemble your brand, period. And your brand is just your personality. So don't overthink it and just start doing it. Just make sure you're covering content on stuff you like to do. No, you don't have to be a certain way to look on video. Look at me. Actually, you should just be you any way you are. So like if you don't wear suits, then don't wear suits on your videos. I used to do videos in shorts and sandals. That's just my brand. And we're always going to attract like people no matter what. I want you to look at the last 10 clients that you closed, and I want you to see the similarities that occurred with those people. Chances are 9 out of those 10 are people you would have a beer with or go to dinner with. And that's not done by coincidence. We naturally always attract like people. So I would actually say when you're trying to be someone you're not, it's going to show on video. So you don't have to look away or certain way. You have to be you. God only made one of you and no one else can be you. So the only USP or unique selling proposition you actually have is your brand. And if you believe that you're the best person for the job in your market, it's actually your obligation to scream it from the damn rooftops. Being entertaining on video does help. However, it's not 100% necessary. There are some people that are more educational in nature, and you don't always have to entertain on each video. However, the more you entertain, the more attention you'll get. And a good example of this is when people log on to social media and you see the talking board head where they're just mapping out a bunch of interest rates on a whiteboard. And that's a perfect example because the only people that will comment on those videos are the mortgage broker trying to earn the real estate agent's business, the title company trying to get them to close up their title company, and the real estate broker that's trying to recruit you. So look at the rest. You don't see any other comments. Well, that's because that type of content has zero entertainment factor to it whatsoever. So you don't have to be entertaining, you have to know how to script and tell a story, because as long as your content is good and interesting, it doesn't have to be entertaining. It needs to be interesting and it needs to be informative if you lack the entertaining side of it. If I wanted to make you guys think I'm a chef, I could do that in 7 days. What I would do is I would create 7 videos and I would be chopping up vegetables in my kitchen like After 7 days, you might think I'm a chef, but because I don't like talking about food, I would sit there like this. I would look uncomfortable. You would see me right there. I can't fake stuff I don't like to do. Just like you can't get on camera and talk about something that you don't like. Now, although you might think I'm a chef, you're not going to buy my cookbook. You're going to go buy Gordon Ramsay's, because when he's on camera, he's like, woohoo, yeah, boo-boo, and he's in his skin and he's totally authentic. So you have to be authentic, because if you're not, you'll lack the communication to express what's necessary in communication, which is tonality and body language. If I'm talking about something I'm not very happy to be talking about, I'm going to be like this, and then I'm going to lack authenticity. But this goes back to determining what your video strategy is up front and finding something that you're excited about. And if you do that first, you won't lack the second part of that authenticity. You should never be nervous about getting on video just for the fact that you will control who actually sees your video. Therefore, the act of shooting it shouldn't be a stressful situation that causes all types of anxieties, because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, don't post it. Therefore, while you're shooting it, go all in and go all out.